Welcome to The Real Build. I am your host, Jamila, and I have my co-host here with me today, Andre. Thanks for coming.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. Spring has sprung.
It definitely has.
I am feeling the sunshine vibes of...
Lots of sun. No more freezing temperatures. Knock on wood.
I set up my patio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Pulled out the cushions, washed the covers, set up the patio.
I haven't done that yet. I'm waiting for a little bit more heat.
I am willing it all on with actions. You know what else happens in the spring?
What's that?
Home show season!
Yeah, okay, so you've been talking about these home shows for
I love home shows.
a few weeks. I've never been to a home show.
Surprised?
Can you tell me a little bit about what these... what's the general premise of these things?
I love home shows. I have been in the construction industry for 10 years. I've done a lot of sales in the construction industry, so I've actually been vendors at home shows.
Okay.
One of the coolest ones I went to was actually in Calgary. I went to the huge home show in Calgary, represented West Harbor Development, selling houses.
Right.
And I went with Rayburn's crew. They had a big boat set up, and I had a little corner because, we had all the boat slips.
Yeah.
And you just get to meet so many people in the industry because everyone's they're out there promoting their products. They're super casual. You get to see new things that are available in the industry. And they always have really random, D-list celebrities at them.
Who did you see at the home show?
I'm forgetting it now. The crocodile guy. He has a thick accent from the south, and he tackles and
Steve Irwin
kills all the crocodile. No, that guy was dead before then.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, I guess I should have remembered the guy's name before I brought it up.
So is it it's a trade show, so there's suppliers there and you can wander around and see what people are selling? Is it for home sales? What exactly?
It's everything and anything regarding your home, something that you could do or buy for your home. So a lot of suppliers, they don't have a lot of storefronts, right? They work out of their trucks. Some people have
warehouses,
storefronts, or they supply other companies that had stores.
Okay.
So home shows are a really good opportunity for these companies to put their booth together and showcase their products in a store setting to homeowners that are looking to do renovations, spring garden cleanup. Usually got a lot of hot tub companies there. I'm sure this year you're going to see a lot of sauna builders because
cold plunge.
Yeah, sauna and cold plunge builders there. You're going to get home builders out there with people that have questions that might be starting new construction.
Yeah.
VLS Developments, we're going to be there.
We are going to be
at
there.
At the Spring Home Show. So Andre gets his first dive into the home show life.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting.
Window manufacturers.
Okay.
Awning and screen companies. You see those barbecue. Andres is always a big appearance at home shows with their TVs and barbecues. Appliances, closet companies love home shows. Blind companies love home shows if you're looking to update your walk-in closet.
And windows too. I heard I think the rebates for windows are closing soon. I feel like I heard something about that.
If that's true, they will be window people pushing last call for rebates if you want to redo your windows.
Don't quote me on that, but I feel like I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
So is there's one in Kelowna?
There's two coming up in Kelowna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one's the first one?
So there's the home show the weekend of the 29th and 30th of March. That's the one we're going to be at. Yep. So mark it in your calendar.
I got it down.
And that one is at the MNP.
MNP Place?
MNP Place.
Okay, so by the H2O.
By the H2O Center.
Gotcha.
By the sports fields out in the Lower Mission there.
Yep.
Cool facility. I wonder how they're going to set us up. I'm sure there's going to be different areas you can go into because there's multiple
Probably the
rinks
hockey
there.
rinks.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So come on out last weekend of March. There's usually realtors and mortgage brokers there too.
Okay.
Look, if there's anyone looking to buy or refinance.
So it's like an all-encompassing
All
event.
everything. Yeah. You might find a project you didn't even know you wanted to do. At the home show.
Yeah.
That should be the slogan.
Yeah. Something you didn't know you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
now you've got everything you need to do it.
Absolutely.
And the next one? So one in MMP Place, end of March.
End of March. April 12th and 13th,
Yeah.
there is the Kelowna Spring Home Show at the Curling Club.
Okay.
So a couple weeks later.
Same kind of idea.
Same idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I think we're going to try and go to that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. And home shows, they're really good family activity. You get to load the kids up in the strollers and wander around, and there's like every booth has a draw.
Right. And there's food. At least at the MMP one, I saw that they are serving food there.
Usually there's some kind of food vendor. It'd be
Yeah.
cool if they had some food trucks outside.
That would be excellent.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, home show guys.
Yeah. Maybe some ice cream.
Yeah, they're like a great afternoon out. What is it? $5 to get in?
Yeah, $5 for adults. Veterans and kids are free.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So good,
Easy.
clean family fun. Mm-hmm. And come source us out. We're going to be there, and we're like chatting up people about infill development, how to add housing to your backyard, and
Yep.
how to do multi-generational housing, and talk to people that are curious about what the new zoning bylaws means for their homes. We can talk to all of our surrounding municipalities if you're driving in. Like, we can talk to West Kelowna, Peachland, Summerland, Penticton, Vernon, all of them, as well as our lovely city Kelowna here. And there's just like lots of fun to be had. Now, if the thing though, like we should really talk about is everyone in the spring, you've always got renovation projects. You might have, some repairs you've been putting off that you want to get to.
Yep.
Something you've been staring at all winter, and now's the time because you can open up the doors, bring the paint cans out.
You're not going to be freezing when you go outside. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But we get it. This year's weird. Like, what's going
this
on in the world?
The T word that's going around.
Oh, the T word. I feel for the public that is trying to navigate this.
Yeah.
Some people are very immersed in the news and what's going on, and really it depends on like what news network you're looking at, what your algorithm is
so
on your
much
phone
so.
of what's put in front of you. We've got somebody in another country that is in a very powerful position that if there's anything certain, it's uncertainty you can get from him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Trump's definitely bringing the uncertainty everywhere.
Yeah.
You can see it if you follow the stock market, everything's been down.
Yeah.
And tariffs are kind of a big deal right now.
And the thing is like if you're not someone who is up on global economics and how it affects your investment savings portfolio, which you didn't need to do because the bank holds it for you, and that's what their job is. This can be very overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And we totally get it. And we're on this show and we're talking about renovations and, building houses in your backyard and leveraging equity and utilizing home equity that you've been working on for a long time to pay off for security.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're talking about open that up and creating more generational wealth and more security in the future. But we don't want to ignore the fact that everything feels really unsecure.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah. The short term, at least from my lens, the short term is very uncertain.
Yeah.
Which, if you kind of reframe that, you have to look at it from a more long-term lens. And the lens that I look at it from is, okay, especially in the Okanagan, the show's based in the Okanagan, but in the Okanagan, we have amazing natural amenities. We have a lake that we can swim in. We have, a bunch of resources. People want to be here.
Yeah.
And so looking at it from a long-term lens, these uncertainties that we're seeing today, might not be so impactful when you look at a 10-year horizon or a 15-year horizon, because I don't think Kelowna is ever going to be a place, or the Okanagan is going to be a place that people don't want to be in.
Well, we've become very aware of where our money is going.
Yes.
And where we're spending it.
Absolutely.
And the more we tighten up to Canada, even the more desirable the Okanagan becomes for people to come to.
Yep.
Now, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how you can maybe mitigate some risk of the tariffs and things that are going on to move ahead with some reno projects or home upgrades that just can't wait any longer. So stay tuned. We're going to keep talking about this when we come back. Welcome back to The Real Build. I'm your host, Jamila, and we have my co-host with me today, Mr. Andre.
Hello.
Hello. Today we're talking about spring. We're talking about renos that have been sitting on the to-do list. We're talking about spicing up home lifestyle, some things that you might have got into this year, like, I don't know, sauna and cold plunging.
Yep.
Maybe you want to put that in the backyard. And it's spring, so it's home show season. There's a couple home shows.
I learned about those.
Andre's getting the deep dive into home shows. We got a couple coming up in Kelowna. There's one at the end of this month, March 29th and March 30th at MNP Place out by the H2O Center. We're going to be set up there that weekend.
We'll be there. Come and see us.
Yeah. And a lot of other vendors will be there if you're looking to do any like window upgrades to your home. There's still some Fortis rebates if you are looking at doing that. There's always window suppliers, blinds, closet suppliers. If you've got some DIY projects saved on your Instagram favorites, this is the place to
sent to you by your significant other.
Sourced out. Oh my gosh, there's a great one that says, my wife went to bed early and all of a sudden I have 3 new projects I have to do.
Yeah. the TikTok links at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Those are.
This is what we should do to the bathroom.
Yeah.
How are you at wallpaper?
Yeah.
Thanks to YouTube, I'm brilliant at wallpaper. The new invented DIY reno days.
Yep.
Everyone's an expert. So, home show where you can go and talk to some experts, get advice. Also, you might find a project you didn't know you need to do. Really good ideas. Like summer sunshine's coming. So getting those patios ready. There's really cool automated screens you can add to your outdoor patio, which will block out the sun and the wind, but still allow you to see through.
I like that.
Creating really great patio space. And, there's all different things that you can find at the home shows. There's a second one. I don't think we mentioned that. There's one at the Curling Club, April 12th and 13th, too. Admission's usually really cheap. It's like $5 to get in.
Yeah, the
Kids
MNP
are free.
one's $5.
And it's a good family outing. So let's get into renos, tariffs, and what to spend money on, what to not spend money on.
How to navigate it a little bit.
It's uncertain right now with what's going on in the world. I mean, it's always good to kind of save money. And if you have a way to invest money right now, honestly, because everything's kind of down, this is really the best time to buy.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of in real estate, professional developers that do this as the long-term job, they're looking to land bank right now.
And now is definitely a good time.
Lots of
good
inventory
time to buy
for
good
sale.
locations.
Yep, you can get good locations. Same with, people are in the stock market. I am not a stock market person, but when it's coming down, that's when the professionals are buying up stocks and holding on to them because everything's a long-term.
You have to have a long-term outlook, especially in uncertain markets like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking to improve your lifestyle and put some sweat equity into your home and increase the value of your home, those can be good things to invest in right now. You've got availability from trades right now. It is a good time to do these things. You've got interest rates have come down.
That's a huge one. Like, from our peak, we've come down quite a bit.
Yeah.
And again, this is going to be my opinion. It's an opinion piece radio show, but
this is the talk portion
this
of
is
the
the
news.
talk portion
sports.
of it. So we're talking about interest rates because it'll kind of affect, a refinance, or it'll affect a line of credit that you can pull to do some of these renos on, or new development projects, or infill, whatever you want to do. What I see happening, though, because of the tariffs that are coming in, that's obviously going to affect, Canadian employment to some degree. And because of that, we might see even further rate drops than we have been seeing. So
there is
even more,
that.
even more rate drops. That in turn might create some more inflation within Canada. Again, it depends, but that's kind of the trajectory that we've seen in the past. And so that inflation will then lead to an increase of rates. People are saying it's kind of an 18-month timeline. So for the next about year to 18 months, we'll just see rates go lower or stay low. And if we see upticks in inflation after that period of time, we might start to see rates go up. That's kind of just a broad opinion of what might be happening. So all of that to say, now is a good time to kind of lock up some financing, do a couple of refinancing deals, invest in your property, because at the end of the day, if you buy in a good location over the long run, you'll see gains.
Maybe don't use these interest rates to buy a brand new car.
No,
You don't want to buy depreciating assets.
Yeah, no.
You want to invest.
Put your money in places where it will grow, and you'll see that value in 10 years.
Yes, exactly. And your home's a great place to do that.
Home's a great place.
Yeah.
Okanagan, very bullish on the Okanagan.
Yes, absolutely. Now, you might have some things on the list that you've been wanting to do, and you might have some equity in your home, and you may not know how to tap into it, right? You can utilize that equity to do home improvement
Definitely.
activities.
Definitely.
One way to do that, you want to talk to your mortgage broker, talk to your bank.
100%.
They're going to send out an appraiser to evaluate the home. And then they'll factor in what the new thing you're doing to the home is going to increase in value.
That's right.
And then there's a couple ways they could set up a line of credit that you use to execute on the renovation.
Line of credit's great because you pay for only what you use.
They could do purchase plus improvements.
Yes.
Where they set up a refinance.
Yes.
And they're adding that improvement cost to the new mortgage.
Yep.
So if anyone out there is in an interest rate that they don't like,
Yep.
and they want to take advantage of the current drops in interest rates, this would also be a good time to consider a reno or any upgrades to the property, because you could roll that all in.
That's right.
To that.
That's right. So that's a way to, amortize the improvements that you're doing rather than just paying interest on them.
Yes. Yeah. So there's lots of way to do home improvements if it's going to increase the value of the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some home improvements you would recommend Andre doing to increase the value?
Interior kitchens and bathrooms are still the ones where you see the most value. That's kind of been the thing all throughout my investment life cycle.
Yeah.
Is kitchens, bathrooms, and floors. Those are going to get you the best bang for buck, and it's going to improve. And then paint, but anybody can do paint. So we're talking like a little bit more advanced.
If your home is if you're 30, 40, 50 years old in your home,
that's a different,
and you haven't addressed HVAC, heating,
sure,
cooling,
sure,
roof.
These are like large scale.
These are big value items.
Large scale investments.
Yeah.
Which will hold their value 100%.
Yeah.
But they're going to be bigger projects.
Yeah. And these are the kind of things you probably want to roll into your mortgage.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's also rebates right now for energy upgrades, doing upgrades to your home that's going to increase the energy efficiency through Fortis.
Yeah.
So...
And there's creative ways. I mean, with the infill stuff we're doing, there's creative ways to kind of add rental properties to your existing land that then creates the cash flow, which then you can lend against to do the upgrades in your house. I'm going to use quotation marks for free.
Yeah.
Because it's getting paid off by the rental properties that you've added. So there's creative ways to do that if you want to go bigger.
Yeah. Well, we met with some people this week. We've been out talking to homeowners that want to.
We had a full week last week.
Redevelop their property. And one really cool option that came up, it was a family that had purchased a home, great neighborhood, older home. Bought it for a great deal, actually. I was really impressed. With the plan, they were going to sink a good chunk of money to do an extensive renovation.
Huge rental.
On the property. And totally get it. But one of the key things that was going on is, one, it still had baseboard heat. It didn't have an HVAC system in it. And it had your 8-foot, 9-foot max on your top floor ceiling height.
Yep.
These are some things that you really just can't.
You can't get around.
Reno around.
Yeah.
And I've seen people pull the roof off and raise it up to get a higher ceiling height. I have no idea what that would cost. But when you have that kind of ceiling height, now you're putting in HVAC, like a typical furnace, you're building down bulkheads.
Yeah, you're going to have areas.
Basement, now you got 7 foot.
6.5, 7 foot ceilings. That's a little unreasonable.
Yeah. And in the past, you had no other options besides kind of work with that structure, which is probably why people pulled the roof off and raised the walls up and put it back on. But now that you can add more homes to the property, our suggestion was, let's add some rental properties. Let's leverage that rental income and let's just tear down this house and build a new one and have that rental income pay for it. I'm being told we got to go for break, but we are going to talk a little bit more about this strategy when we come back. Welcome back to The Real Build. I'm your host, Jamila. I've got my co-host, Andre, with me today.
Hello.
And we are talking about spring renovations.
Spring is great.
Spring renovations.
The cold is gone.
The cold is gone. It's home show season. Andre never realized how exciting that was until he met me.
Yeah, nope. Love
home shows. 2 coming up. We got one at the end of the month at MNP Place, the 29th and 30th.
Yep.
We'll be there. VLS Developments will be there chatting to people.
Come and see us. Come talk about infill.
Yeah, or anything construction. Yep. We'll chat with you. Also, there's so much you'll find projects you didn't even know you wanted to do yet if you go to the home show. That may make a couple men not want to take their wives there, but
no, it's cool.
I encourage you. Yes. There's a second home show at the Curling Club, April 12th and 30th as well. So we are in full swing home show season. So
I'm excited.
Right before the break, we've been talking today about renos. We've been acknowledging the tariffs and how that's creating some uncertainty out there. And we've been talking about some strategies about doing extensive renovations.
Yeah. We finished the last segment talking about a case scenario with a pretty extensive reno.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's lots of options out there now with this rezoning of single-family home lots where things can be done differently than they were in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we really love, is chatting with people about how they can utilize extra units on their property that's going to generate revenue that can pay for maybe a bigger dream that they didn't thought they could do. Mm-hmm. In this case, we could probably just tear the house down and rebuild the new home with the higher ceilings, the better HVAC systems, more energy efficiency, proper room distribution. They have a young family and the bedrooms are split over different floors, so get all the bedrooms onto one floor.
That's right.
And utilize adding the rental properties to pay that all off in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great option. And this strategy, it works because the land is already bought. It's already paid for. It's there. It's fixed. It's sunk. We're only worrying about construction costs. You're only financing construction costs. You're not financing the land to create these upgrades and these additions.
Yeah. So if you've been living in your home for, I want to say 8 years or more.
Yeah, it gets better with the lower amount you have owing on the land, but it'll work with somebody that's got a traditional mortgage as well. It's just the fact that you're not having to buy land at today's prices.
Yeah. And also values have gone up so much in the last 5 years.
Exactly.
You can take advantage of that equity you've established in it and then really reinvest back into the property.
Yeah. So that's that case scenario was a great example of, an extensive reno turned into potentially a rebuild because you can add some rental properties that can float that additional mortgage cost. And again, we're not. This isn't going to be a scenario where they don't have to pay their mortgage at all because the rental properties cover it. It's more so you stay at the same mortgage payment per month that you were before. You just have some rental properties, a new home. Your total net worth, your total property value has increased, and you are paying the same amount, close to, as you were before.
Because you've got other people paying
Because you've
rent.
got other people paying rent.
Yeah.
So that's the general idea, and that's what we've seen a few people are interested in.
That's the whole premise behind real estate investing, to be honest with you.
Kind of.
It is really simple. You kind of have a choice. You can put money away every month into an investment account.
Yeah.
And watch that grow.
Yeah.
And compound over time and create a good retirement fund for yourself, which is the traditional way. It's how most people do it. Real estate investing is people choose to put a bit of money in at the beginning, like down payment, buy a house, and then rent that out.
Yeah.
And that house has a value the day you buy it. And it continues to go up in value, just like compounding interest on an investment fund over the, 20, 30 years. And the only difference is you're not putting money in every month. Somebody else is paying you every month.
That's right.
And they're paying off that mortgage.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a little extra that you sock away for repairs or whatever.
Yeah. In an ideal world, yes, you would be making, great cash flow every single month. Throughout my experience investing in Kelowna and in the Okanagan, at the beginning, the first, I want to say 3-4 years, your monthly return is not going to be, like, if you break even, that's great. It's, after year 3, 4, 5, once you get past that hump, that's when you really start to see the cash flow coming in.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to get even more options with that asset that you now have.
Yeah. Real estate, stocks, for the everyday people, even for the professionals, it's not a get-rich-quick plan.
No.
We all know get-rich-quick plans are
Usually scams.
Yeah. And if you're trying to jump in on a real estate deal where you're like buying it, you're going to sell it in 3-4 months, a year, and you're going to make, $50,000 because the market's going crazy. Those are super high risk.
Yeah.
You're so vulnerable.
Murphy's Law will prevail. Murphy's Law will prevail.
But
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if you look at it as a long-term investment, like we just broke it down, they can really make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some smaller scale renos. Somebody that wants to, add to their deck or redo their deck.
Right.
How in this current world of uncertainty, tariffs, people across the board are doing crazy things. How do we mitigate risk?
Oh, that is a great question. Mitigating risk comes with a really good plan. Now, when it comes to small renos, a lot of times you talk about a concept, someone visualizes it in their head, maybe they draw something on a napkin. They either try to do it themselves or maybe they hire a professional, and that still is maybe more of a hand drawing. No slander to the guys out there that are really, really good at hand drawing 3D plans where it's laid out, size, dimensional. You can list all your product from it. But if it's chicken scratch on a napkin, that can be a challenge. But I think what I'm trying to get at is that big or small, if you can write down and draw out the plan and then detail your material list from that plan,
Yeah.
that is how you mitigate risk of going into a project.
Yeah.
Because what costs a lot of money is thinking of the idea, running off to our Canadian supplying home hardware companies first,
Yeah.
and picking up the materials you think you're going to need. I swear, this is how I cook dinner. This is how I do my grocery shopping. It's the worst. I spend so much money on groceries because of this. I need to take my own advice. But picking up the materials that you think you're going to need, you get it home, and you cut first. You don't measure.
Yeah.
You cut twice. And then you're running back to the store and you're getting stuff, and now you're in the project, so you're just like, oh, it doesn't matter what I just need the thing, right? You can't make a choice anymore.
Costs go up.
Mistakes
happen.
Yes, that is how you blow the budget. But if you can create that plan and create a detailed material list, and then you can price that material list before you pull the trigger and understand what you're going to be into. And then you can buy everything at the same time.
Yes.
So you don't risk going back to the store in 3 weeks and lumber's gone up 40%, right? And
we have seen that happen.
We have seen
that happen.
We've seen that happen on a major scale, on a condo scale. But that is how you mitigate risk in doing your renovations. So it might mean investing with a drafting person to draw up your plan. Of your reno.
And I mean, we're talking, if you're doing a deck and you need somebody to draw it and do the material account for you, it's not going to be more than a couple $100.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a huge thing, and you have a roadmap.
Yes. So our best advice is spend a little bit of money to draw the plan, get your material list, price it all out, then choose to dive in.
Yeah.
We've got to take another quick break, but stay tuned. We got more great advice for those renos this spring when we come back. Welcome back to The Real Build. I'm your host, Jamila. We've got Andre in the studio, my co-host today.
Hello.
Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
We are talking about spring renos, spring home shows, tips and tricks on how to mitigate risk with all of the craziness that's going on in the world right now when you dive into renovation projects. Gurinder, our producer's here.
Hi.
Gurinder has been going through the spring reno.
Let's call it toiling.
Toiling.
Toiling away, yes.
So we've been talking today, like, how do you finance these renos? Utilizing equity. Interest rates have come down. You might want to refinance depending on your situation. And in that process of refinancing, incorporating in the things that need to get done on the home that might increase the value of the home. So, Gurinder, you're living this right now.
I really am, and it has been a project, I tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, the house built in 1975, it was my grandma's old house.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time any renovation was done on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the plumbing may have been done back in 2010.
Okay.
So that's up to snuff now.
Yeah.
But the roof wasn't.
The roof needed work.
The roof needed work. The ceiling needed work. I'm sure if I was to peel back even further, there's going to be another project that I could have gotten done at this right now. But it's the structural stuff, the stuff that probably should have been done 5, 6, 7 years ago, that wasn't touched.
Well, and this all started because you got very lucky to get a home through an inheritance.
Exactly.
However, it was a challenging timing for you, and you ended up in a mortgage with a high interest rate.
Yep, and that was all because I went through a private lender.
Mm-hmm.
Which our private lenders are great when you utilize them in the right situations, and you had no other choices at the time.
Exactly.
But we started doing this show, and you started hearing all of this advice, and we started talking about this, and I said, Gurinder, we need to get you out of this high interest
Yeah.
mortgage.
We really did. I mean, the thing is, as someone who doesn't know what they're going through, as somebody who's very market illiterate in this,
Yeah.
you don't really know what you're doing. So I figured, hey, if everybody else has high interest rates, I don't know what a high interest rate is. I was paying 8-something%.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And
Huge.
then this year it went up to nearly 10.
Wow.
So, you're at the stage of, what do I do? Do I just sell the place, get out of it because I can't afford to?
Yeah.
So we started talking off air just about what can happen.
Yep.
Got me into a proper mortgage broker.
Yeah.
Then we discovered, there were a couple of...
Let's comment on that before we go. The
Yeah.
proper mortgage broker. So, mortgage brokers are all connected in different ways with different lenders that take on different types of projects and as well as people, the lendability of the people. So not all mortgage brokers are created equal.
No.
And we were able to set you up with the broker that we love to use because he's very great at placing the right person with the right lender. So that's the first step.
And that was huge.
Yeah.
Because, you're looking at what is your largest purchase, your largest investment.
Yeah.
And that's where I was stuck because I've grown up in this house. I know there's value here, but how do I go further?
Yeah.
So the biggest problem I had as of January was my roof was shot.
Yes.
It was something that I knew had to be done ages ago, but there was no money available to get it done.
Not
Right.
with paying 10% interest on your mortgage.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So part of this involved refinancing and also getting a conditional line of credit to help get the roof and other subsequent projects done, such as getting new drywall put in.
Right.
But again, there is a limited cost. You can only put so much money into this before you have to get in and start doing stuff yourself.
Right.
Yes.
And that's the sweat equity you were talking about.
Yes.
Because I pulled out drywall. I was in the attic this past weekend ripping out insulation in my Tyvek suit and half face mask.
I'll post the video later, folks.
I mean, there definitely was mold up there. There was a lot of dust, and I'm pretty sure I saw some animal poop that probably shouldn't be in an attic.
Yes.
So you didn't actually go through this process with a renovation in mind at the beginning of it. It was just a consequence of trying to get your appraisal. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah. But in order to get the appraisal, I had to get the roof done.
Right.
And you kind of fall into a couple of these. In order to get A done, you need to get B done. And in order to get B done, you need to get C done.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended up. And now I am inching along. There's a little bit of work left. Some more sweat equity, including painting.
Yep.
And some light fixtures. And then we get into the reappraisal and get refinanced and save a good chunk of cash.
So at the end of the day, I know like you literally just worked on insulation this weekend. So this seems sweaty and you're over it. You're hurting. You're like, what am I
A little
doing
sore.
to myself?
Yeah.
I crawled out of bed yesterday.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you've put in, a couple weekends of hard work,
Absolutely.
coordinated with some great trades that executed in a timely manner, aligned with your mortgage broker and the appraiser on what needed to get done, set up you did a lot of good pre-planning to set up a good budget so you knew exactly how much to ask in the refinance so you could budget that in. And when we get to the end of the refinancing, you now have
I was just going to say this.
a new roof.
Yeah.
Interior is new ceiling, new spackle, new paint on the walls, some new light fixtures.
Yeah.
You mitigated all of the mold that had happened in the roof and found an animal's nest.
And on top of that, it's the actual labor that I've put into it.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest part that I'm taking away from it because I can say I did this part. I can say I did this part and know what's behind these walls, know where some of the electrical is, and be able to say, That's how it's done.
Yeah.
And how much did you learn in this process?
Oh goodness, so much.
Did you go
so
on
much.
YouTube?
A ton.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely been a lot of times where there's some channels that I was following and I had to stop and rewind and be like, okay, so that's how that's done. It's like, especially when I'm getting into electrical, I've done the odd light fixture, but I put in a bathroom fan.
There you go.
I've never had one in there, so I had to do this.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, your mortgage payment is way less than
That's
it
what I
was
was
before.
just about to get to.
I managed, my broker, he managed to roll in some of my other debts, and that's going to bring my monthly down by a significant amount.
Yeah. And you have a house that is objectively better. Like, that's cool.
Yeah. So I think a really good takeaway from this is that if there's someone out there and you feel kind of drowning in your home a little bit and you maybe don't think that there's something you can do, there might be.
Yeah. There
There might
definitely
be something you can do.
And it's creative stuff that you could do that might require a bit of work, might require a bit of time, and might require, you to get deeper into that property and more invested in that property. But at the end of the day, it will it'll pull you out of that hole and you'll feel even more secure about it.
Well, you know, for me, I think the biggest thing was I was a little too close to the picture. I'm staring at it inches away because I'm living there. I know this is my reality. What do I do to get out of it? You know, I can bring it up with you and just say, hey, here's what I'm going through, and you brought a whole new perspective to what I'm working through, and you saw it's like, oh, you can now do this, and you can try this.
Yeah.
I think I want to, like this, we do new construction, but I want to throw this out there as like we do know how to guide people through some of these things. So if this is something that's going on for you that you're like, oh, I wish they could help me out or just talk it through, text in to the show. And Gurinder, can you say the text number?
Of course. It's 250-862-2525.
Standard rates do apply. They tell me I have to say that. But text in, let's chat, see if there's some ideas we can come up with for you, either we can help or put you with the right people. Anyway, we got to wrap it up today. Thanks for listening. This has been a fun show, hey?
Yeah, this has been great.
Okay, stay tuned. We'll have a new show for you next week.